Hey guys, it's Ethan Hill, handsome and wealthy. Guys, in this video, it's gonna be called the 5 toxic traits. We got 5 on the list. 5 toxic traits that men exhibit in relationships, man. Okay. Now, these are gonna be controversial, of course, but it is a self-reflection on some of the traits that you may be exhibiting that may be turning her off, okay? So we're gonna start with number one, and that is being aggressive, okay? Now, it's in our nature, of course, when you have high testosterone, you have a high sense of purpose, high sense of clarity, and you know where you're going. You most of the time are going to be very aggressive in what you want. And it's perfectly normal as a man with high functioning testosterone. You're going to know what you want. But the thing is, you have to separate sometimes being aggressive with having empathy and having understanding. Because if you let your reptile brain, the brain that just, goes on destructive mode, flight or fight, and you don't know how to make sure that it makes sense, you have to control that. So being aggressive, being too aggressive is a turnoff. But when it comes to business or making decisions that require that with a high IQ, it does make for rewarding outcomes. Now, number two, you have being controlling, right? Being controlling is good. You know what I'm saying? When it asks for it, like I said, if you're a man, you have direction, you have purpose, of course, this is attractive. But when it's overpowering and it's not met with understanding, it is going to be a turnoff. Now, how do you control this? Okay, you control it by reading the room, which is having emotional intelligence, and making sure that you manage this by giving the person space, respecting boundaries, respecting opinions, and then using the words they say to make a clear and concise situation for everybody to win. So not being controlling, but being understanding, okay? Number three is having and imposing on people's boundaries. Now, this one I think is one that most men have. And this happens more so in a breakup, right? Or this happens more so in a situation that isn't met with clarity. For example, right? Let's just say you and a woman that you've been with, let's say for 5 to 10 years, right? Let's say you guys recently have been in a situation where you guys haven't been seeing eye to eye. You haven't been seeing the signs, right? That are, coming to a healthy agreement, right? You guys aren't seeing eye to eye. And now when she says she needs space or she needs to fall back, a lot of men kind of go in analytical mode and you basically impose, oh, why isn't this working? Why are you doing this? And you text them 5, 6 times, they're not answering. You're not giving them space. So then they're overreacting and then, it becomes a conflict. And I've been in this situation before. So how do you do that? How do you avoid, overstepping on boundaries? The way to the way to step back and get from around those boundaries is to read the room, you reflect on what's being said, write it down in a journal even if you have to make a decision, and normally that works out better than going back and forth and then falling back. Okay? So reflect, journal about it, ask yourselves the question that you need to answer, and then you fall back and you do those things, okay? So number 4, we have making sure you don't over emotional. You're not over emotional. Now, over emotions, right? There's a time and a place to be emotional, right? Maybe you got the death of a loved one, or maybe somebody, had cancer, or you're going through even financial troubles, right? But when you're over emotional, when being tested in life, emotions usually boggle down the logic side of the mind, right? You're using more of the emotional side. So the logic side usually boggles you down. And as a man, when it comes to leadership and when it comes to making decisions, you have to most of the time use your logical side, because that is what you're looked upon. So it took me a while to learn this. I struggled with this, but I've gotten better at doing this. And let me tell you guys the ways you learn how to do better with this is: number one, pausing before you respond, right? Not reacting emotionally, but just responding. Okay. Number two, you ask yourself questions and you use the questions to gauge your logical side. Okay. And then number three is you fall back. Fall back. That's the key to everything. It's just falling back, falling back, falling back. Don't worry about it. Let it go. It is what it is. And you just delay the decision fatigue, right? We delayed decision fatigue. And that's how you do that. Okay. Number four. Or we're number five. This is the fifth one. Okay, guys. Last one. Okay, last one. Number five is being emotionally attached. So this is going to be now emotionally. So we're talking about emotions. Number five, emotionally attached. So what does emotionally attached look like? It means attaching yourself to a person or situation that basically involves your emotions that you can't control, right? And that's a scary thing to do, because once you attach yourself to a person, place, event, it really puts a mental strain. But the only person, like if you're religious, if you're spiritual, you're gonna tune into this, clip this, okay? The only person you should really be attached to is the Most High. Let me say that again. The only person you should be attached to is the Most High, because no person, no place, no event, no situation will ever give you the peace that you want. Even alcohol or drugs is a very temporary situation that will give you the peace. But once you put yourself with the Most High, that's all the peace you'll ever get, because the Most High says, trust him. You got to trust him with everything, right? You got to trust him through the good, through the bad, through the confused stages of life. But once you have that clarity and once you put your trust in the Most High, that is when all the blessings will come. That's when all the royalties, and not royalties as in you're just doing this to receive the blessings, but you're doing this to get clarity and to get wisdom and understanding. Okay, guys? So if you guys felt like you've gotten those 5 toxic traits handled and you've revealed them to yourself, make sure to hit the like button down below. Comment, subscribe, hit the bell button so you get all my notifications. And remember, guys, it's handsome and wealthy. Attract the woman you want, not the woman you're settling for. Ethan Hill, and we're out.